Barry, welcome to Strefa Dread show, finally.
Maken, how long has it been? How long have you been my brother?
Many years, many years.
So many years, my friend. Many.
But first time we can have an interview. I'm really glad the time has come. And the main reason, obviously, is your new album, Addict. So let me start with this. Love, positivity and unity. Celebration of the good times. This is what some media already write about this album. And it sounds like a proper cure for these times. For me as well. Didn't you have any bad moods during this freezing time?
I think the thing to think about, Maken, here is that the album was recorded over the last 2, maybe 3 years. So it isn't a reflection of what's happening now. I think the music I'm writing now will probably be different. Although I don't know anything else apart from being positive and having a party, because you know full well, and anyone in Poland knows full well, the Dub Pistols bring the good times. That's what we do. That's what we represent. And as dark as things are now, that we will look to a brighter day.
You have a song which feels like reflection to this time, about dark times.
Dark days, dark times. It's kind of weird, again, because I guess it was like, you know, when we recorded the 6 Million Ways to Live album.
Yeah.
And that was a reflection of very much the years leading up to 9/11. It wasn't a reflection of 9/11. But when we recorded that album, it was coming out on 9/11. And that really came back to bite us in the backside, if I can use that term, bite us on the bum. And so for many years, I stayed away from politics. And the thing about Dark Days, Dark Times, it was actually more a reflection of the gun crime and the violence that was going on in London. But it's like anything, and stand together maybe, that if you write anything regarding history or a moment, it will come back and history will catch up with you. You know, so it's a song that encapsulates now, but it's not a song that was written for now. It was written about a year ago or maybe more. It was more a reflection of those times. It just feels like those times now to everybody else has caught up with them. You know, so, you know, we're in a strange time with COVID, but that song wasn't about COVID. It was about gun crime, and it was about the violence and things like that were happening on the UK streets, and just a reflection of our times.
Is the title Addict referring to be addicted to the bass line, as you think, or it has a wider meaning?
No, it was definitely Addict to the bass line, but you know full well every Dub Pistols fan. I mean, it's kind of a childish. It's a kind of childish title, isn't it? And I think most people would say that and go like, "Oh, Addict is so Dub Pistols." But as you know full well, the thing with the Dub Pistols, we've been through sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We've lived that life. Do you know? We've been to those places. That isn't where we are now. Do you know what I mean? This is addicted to the bass line. Do you know what I mean? This is addicted to the lifestyle, addicted to the music. Do you know what I mean? It isn't a reflection of being an addict in terms of the way that we used to be an addict.
You called yourself Dub Pistols many years ago, but from the very beginning, you rather took this dub element out of Jamaican or deep spiritual context and put it into more urban way. And all your friends are calling you a proper rock and roller, not a Rasta.
No, because I think, you know, my love for Jamaican music is obviously known. My love for punk music is clearly known as well. So for me, you know, the thing that I take, and obviously, you know, I'm fully into my Jamaican music, but the way that I learned that was through the specials and through the Clash. Do you know what I mean? So, and through the punk element. And to me, it was kind of like, that was the natural thing. So, you know, all the artists we work with are, you know, steeped in Jamaican history or hip hop history or urban history, but it's not. We do our own. I do my own take on it. But it's more about being bringing that punky reggae party, you know, than necessarily, you know, the full on Jamaican thing. It's not. You know, we clearly love reggae music. We clearly love Jamaican influences. But then at the same time, we want to bring that electronic, anything that to me that would be bringing it forward or bringing, I guess we're a 21st century specials. That would be the best way of describing what we are, or a Clash for now. That's kind of my thing.
I'm always saying that the biggest fan of the specials is Barry Ashworth, from all the people I know. On the new album, there is another hero from that era, from two-tone era, Rhoda Dakar of the famous band The Body Snatchers. How did you get into this cooperation? Did you know her personally before, and so on?
You know, Rhoda is one of the most incredible women that you'll ever meet. She's absolutely amazing, and she's been coming to our shows. Obviously met her through Terry and through working with Linville, and got to know her. And like I said, she was coming out, hanging out at our shows, and it was just like, just listening to her stuff. And we asked her to do the song, and she's really, really, really is like very, she's so political. She's so bang on in everything she does. You know, everything she does has a really strong message. So it was like, it was perfect. And when we got in the studio, I couldn't stop smiling because she nailed it straight away. You know, when he gave her a song, she just came in and she was like, oh my God, this is, you know, and again, it's one of those songs that have come about, you know, the day we was going to release the record was George Floyd incident happened in America. And it was the first time, I mean, it really did my head in, you know, it was on top of COVID. Suddenly the realization, and not because I was realizing, but the whole situation in the world. And it was the first time that I really got down in this COVID, because suddenly the whole racism thing as well really reared its head. And I realized how ugly the world was. But she'd written this song, which was the perfect message. And it was kind of weird because it was literally the same week that it was coming out. It was always planned to come out. But there is no more poignant message than that song. It couldn't be more perfect for the time. But it just tells you how apolitical she is, and what a fantastic... She's so aware of everything, Maken, I can't tell you. You know, she's bang on.
It looks like Dub Pistols were running to self-destruction at some time.
Looks like.
A way... And that was a usual way that killed many successful artists in the world. But at some point, you stopped. You don't look like straight edge guy now, but I feel you are much more controlling yourself and people around you in Dub Pistols. I'm wondering, what was the reason of this major change? What was the main motivation for you?
I think it was a combination of things. It was a combination of, one, I think we were pressing the self-destruct button. You know, we'd gone through years of thinking it's all about the party, it's all about being rock and roll, it's all about being la la la. And then it became actually embarrassing. It became embarrassing to be ourselves, to put on shows. I had friends come up to me after we did shows and went, Barry, I'm embarrassed for you. You know, I'm like, if you're not enjoying it, Barry, stop. You know, and I think we just come off the stage to 50,000 people at festival, and I dropped my trousers and said some really terrible things, and it was kind of like, and it was, you know, it was embarrassing, to be honest with you, Maken. It was just about grow up. Just grow up, man. Do you know what I mean? It was like, you know, and so it was just taking a look at yourself and thinking, like, do you want to be remembered for music, or do you want to be remembered for being an idiot? Do you know what I mean? For being an arsehole. When it was funny, and then it wasn't funny anymore. And it was like, and I've struggled for many years to lose that that image that everybody has. Like, yeah, it was never about Nobody ever listens to Dub Pistols, or never used to listen to Dub Pistols because of the music. They used to always talk about the party or the good time or what we did, you know, what outrageous things we could do. And it was like, well, actually, I don't want to be remembered like that. I want to remember for some music and for what it is that I'm supposed to do. And, you know, some of the boys left, some of the boys we had to put into rehab, you know, and just sort our lives out and come back and remember what it is that you actually enjoy doing, you know, and why it is that you're doing what you do, which is like, you know, you're a musician, you're there to perform, people are paid to come and see you, you know, don't be a dickhead.
I feel you moved this dark experience into some really positive direction. I've just seen you standing on the old school plane and flying for charities, for helping some other people. Can you tell me something about this project?
Well, it's tonic music for mental health. That's what I did the wing walk for the other day. It's a charity that I've become patron for. Terry Hawthorne especially was his patron. Lots of good people are involved, and it's something that again has saved me during this lockdown period. I mean, I've been patron for a good few years and raising money, but during lockdown, all I've done is charity work and fundraising for the Black Rhinos, the Last Wild Rhinos in Africa, for tonic music for mental health, for different festivals or clubs that are in trouble. I've just actually having something to focus on, and something else is what's kept me going. You know, it's like, it's actually saved me, to be honest, Maken. You know, it's something that, you know, to help people is the best thing you can possibly do, and it's the most rewarding thing that you can do in life.
Another interesting field of your activities is Maken Weekender Festival. What makes it special and worth coming? I have seen like all the rest of the festivals, it didn't happen this year. I don't wonder, but tell me about the event.
Well, you know, Maken Weekender is what it says on the tin, but it's kind of really weird, right? Because like, it's really party people orientated. It's fantastic music. It's everything I've curated, but it's all my favourite artists that come together, and I can get, you know, everyone from Gentleman's Dub Club to Left Field to Darren Emerson from Underworld to Cheshire Cat to, you know, Ragged Twins, to everybody to come along. They're all my, you know, and it's really, everyone comes along, and it's like, it's the most insane weekend. It's like, it was so good. But then, because it's like, there's no children allowed, it's over 18s, there's no, you know, so everyone comes there and they're of a certain headspace, so they know how to enjoy themselves, and when they left the site, it's immaculate, like they've never been. You know, it's like, it's a mucky weekend, but it's now, again, maybe it's a sign of the times that everyone's cleaning up after themselves, which is great to see the land and everything left the way it was when people came on. It's like, it's incredible, and everyone's so enthusiastic.
Talking about production now, production of your music.
Yeah.
I have never seen any, you are in your studio. Yeah. And this is my question. I have never seen any big producers helping you out with Dub Pistols releases or involved into production process. Is it all created in your mind and on your desk with your own hands? And
no, I wish I could say that, Maken. No. I have lots of help. I'm surrounded by fantastic musicians, Tim Hutton, Dave Budgeon, you know, so I'm surrounded by, you know, Tim writes for Groove Armada, for Prodigy, for you name every artist. So I've got a lot of fantastic talent at my disposal. I'll come up with an idea, you know, and recently been working with King Youth. Billy was Zero B. So I have lots of, you know, I'd love to say it was all me, but it's not. You know, I come up with an idea, and I have ideas, and I have very much, every poet is a thief. right? So to say that every idea was mine, no, it wasn't. In terms of I heard it somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? It was like something that came out of somewhere, and I'll take it and I'll run with it and I'll embellish it, and then I'll bring in people to work with. So no, it's not all done with my own hands. I wish it was. I'm not going to lie though.
Yeah. Are there any producers you are particularly looking up to, from who you learned?
I don't know, because like I said, you never stop learning. But, you know, for many years I worked with Jason O'Brien, who's now head of, you know, works at Abbey Road and he's head of teaching and things like that. He was always amazing. Billy from Zero B, you know, from Lockdown and things like that. But I've never, yeah, I guess I just know, to be honest with you. King Youth has been a fantastic influence because, you know, the guy's such a creative energy and knows, again, just his drum beats. But, you know, I do my own thing.
I recorded over 3 albums worth of music to get to the finished version of Addict. What's about the rest of this music? Did it all go to trash?
No. Nothing will be go to waste. Some of it didn't sound. Some of it, you know, when you're trying to put an album together and you want it to be, like I said, I could have made a dub album, I could have made a jungle album, and it would have just been that. But it was kind of like getting the flow. So none of it will go to waste. It will be released on 7 inches or on vinyl, or it will go towards the next album. It's just the way that you put the pieces together to come with that, the 11 tracks that I did. Any of them could have made it, to be honest, because I can't make one record. You can't make one record without thinking this has to be the best record you've ever made. You know, every record you make has to be the best record. Whether it goes together in a construction of 11, but you can never, you know, you never go into the studio and try to finish a record and think, you know, it's got to be the best record you've ever made. So none of it we wasted.
You traveled to Poland so many times, both DJing and playing with the band. What is your favorite memory from our country?
Oh, you know, that night we had in New Year's Eve.
In Wrocław.
Yeah, that was, you know, I think probably one of the most amazing shows I've ever done in terms of visually. You know, being resident at Bacania was absolutely amazing in the early years. Being with Robert and the Sphinx crew in Sopot, you know, I had so many incredible nights there. You know, Poland has a massive place in my heart. You know, I have so many friends there. And going up to Zakopane, I don't know, playing for you at, you know, your festival. It's so many good nights. I don't know. All of those places are special. You know, Poland has a special place for me.
My last
it's
question.
Been a long time we've been together.
Do you remember first time you came over to Poland?
Yeah, of course. I remember the first time very much with Marcin and everybody. And I remember, you know, it was not long after the wall came down, right? Not long after Solidarity and, you know, and the country's changed a lot. But I remember when I came and I didn't have my records that Norbert had asked for, and it was like, you know, and his face being so upset. And I didn't realise at the time, because obviously, you know, how he couldn't get the records at the time. And he was so upset. And yeah, of course, I remember the places we stayed. I remember the cars we drove in. I just remember everything about it. I remember it being cold as well. Then.
Do you remember smashing a hammer against a TV set?
Yes. One of the most. It's still crazy. I still look at it now. What was the name of the party?
It's Gua's party. Jarek Gua, out of CDQ.
Yannick, who I absolutely love. Yannick, one of the most fantastic people, human beings you'll ever meet. Always smiling. And I remember being taken off to the woods, and it was like all these people. I'm sure they were on acid. Maybe they weren't, but I think they were. I'm not going to grass anybody up. And then they were tying things around these things, and it was like golf, but with hammers. And they were throwing it and then smashing up the television. And then there was a big party afterwards. Yeah, it was one of the most crazy things I've ever seen or done. And but you know for well, it had such a significant meaning to everybody. It was about the counter-revolution. You know, it was like, you know, it was amazing. It was amazing. I'm just, yeah. I remember thinking at the time, thinking, what the?
22 years ago, you rocked the nations with "There's Gonna Be a Riot" single. How do you think now? Is there gonna be any massive riots in societies caused by coronavirus frustrations?
I think we're as close as we are ever going to be to some kind of revolution or cultural thing, because the world is in a really, really, really dark place right now. One, COVID. Two, Trump, who is the most divisive human being I think I've ever witnessed. You know, it's terrifying. You know, even our government, I think we're as close as we could possibly be. Do you know what I mean? Because the world is not right now. It's sick.
So I wish you all the best in these hard times, and big success with the album, and see you on the tour again.
It's lovely to talk to you. It's lovely to see your smiling face always. Thank you for having me on the show, mate.
Thank you.
Bye.